July weekend in Henrico, two 18-year-olds and a minor are facing charges connected to a shooting that killed a 16-year-old girl at White Oak Village Shopping Center. Police say Trayvon Chappelle and Jihad Ruffin were both involved in Saturday's shooting that killed Jamira Washington. Meanwhile, Chief Eric English addressed the violence that he says is destroying families. On your side at 6, Henrico reporter Karina Bolster spoke with other families impacted by this weekend's chaos. And Karina, I'm just sure a lot of broken hearts this weekend.
Oh, most certainly, Makia. In the simplest terms, the family tells me what happened here on Beck Drive, not only here, but all across the metro area this past weekend, was just senseless violence. This is a sight many of us have seen along roadways.
Here, this little Steve, right here beside his brother.
But each memorial represents someone taken unexpectedly.
Being at the wrong place at the wrong time, things like this happen.
27-year-old Stephen Wisnot was gunned down here on Beck Drive just before 11 p.m. on the 4th of July. Sources say an innocent bystander walking his dog was also caught in the crossfire, suffering critical injuries.
We do know that there were a lot of rounds fired in that particular shooting.
What led up to that shooting is still under investigation, a phrase that can be said for the two other homicides over the weekend, one involving a 16-year-old girl.
There are too many lives being lost and too many people being hurt over craziness, over foolishness, and people just, like I said, feeling comfortable carrying a weapon.
Two 18-year-olds and a minor now face charges connected to Jamira Washington's death. The teen, also an innocent bystander whose life was cut short.
You look at the situation in White Oak, that could have been anybody's kid that was in that location. And so we can't just turn a blind eye and say, oh, it didn't happen to me. Let's be a little bit more vigilant and think about the big picture here.
That's now the focus for Chief Eric English, a collaborative effort between the community and police.
We must come together.
And that happened Tuesday night as first responders gathered with Wisnot's family for a candlelight vigil.
This was my family, but guess what? There are other families throughout this city that's going through the same thing, experiencing the same thing. And if we hurting so bad, then let's not make another family hurt the same way.
Meanwhile, there was another shooting Sunday night off Ingleside Drive that claimed the life of 19-year-old Marquand Lane. The chief says his team plans to patrol high areas of violence here in the county and also deal with some of the criminals who frequent those areas. Live and on your side in Henrico, Karina Bolster, NBC 12 News.
All right, heartbreaking. Thank you, Karina.